writer, and a motivational speaker. He is also the chairman of IIA Kapurthala, Hoshiarpur. We are all blessed to have your presence with us. Now, I request Nagendra sir to come forward and say a few words.
Hello, very good evening to all of you. It is really, a very great opportunity for all of us that we are going to see whatever the important specific details about the residences design by renowned architect professor Dr. Venu Shree. So I welcome on the behalf of our school and Discover Arts to all my budding architects, all participants, and welcome to ma'am also. And we are hoping that this session will be very instrumental to develop the design style and design principles, in upcoming time to all my budding architects. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Just so you all know that we are live on YouTube and people have joined there too. Now, I request our speaker to please come forward and start with the session. I request Venu ma'am to kindly start with today's session.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience due to network issue in between. Thank you, Nagendra sir.
Welcome, ma'am.
So today's topic of my talk is exploring the technique of residence design through elements of design. It is a unique topic in itself. I intentionally placed this picture on the first uh, slide because in Indian system, this particular element is the first element of residential design in most of the residences, and it has spiritual value as well as cultural value in our system. So when we defined residential space, it was defined by Matthew that a house is a physical space that contains a set of feelings, as shown in the first slide of my talk. A home is a relation between materiality and imaginative process, where the physical location and materiality and feelings and ideas are united and influence each other instead of being separated and distinct. This statement says that while conceptualizing a particular design for a particular client, we have to think about the material. We have to imagine a particular form which suits the culture of a particular family. We need to think about the likes and dislikes of a particular client. We need to think about the physical location of the project, feelings, emotional feelings of a particular family, and we have to unite all these parameters to identify the whole setup. And these variables, these parameters are also influencing each other. So it is a tedious task, or some person says that It is a puzzle solving problem. Okay? A house is a process of creation and comprehension of ways of living and belonging. When you start living in a particular space, a strong sense of belonging used to develop up with reference to that particular space. It happens to all the students who are living in a hostel. After spending 1 year in a particular room, they feel attached to that particular space and they do not want to change it. So, being an architect, you are basically going to deal with the feelings. A house is lived as well as imagined. It is very important. Whatever you are going to design is going to be lived by the user. So you have to imagine according to them. Residence is simply defined as the dwelling that a person is living in a particular point of time. So the third dimension you are supposed to think of is time, which is changing. So this fourth dimension, the fourth dimension of our design is time, which is not constant. So being a designer, we always keep this fourth dimension in mind. Residential architecture is the art of designing and building habitable structures. Architects specializing in residential design focuses on designing and building individual living space. इसका मतलब ये है कि even when you are designing a particular residence in all, but you have to be conscious enough for individual living space of all the members which belongs to a family. Okay? As a standard in India, the family size is 5 members, 5 to 6 members. In Indian context, normal family size is 5 to 6. So in a residential unit, whether it is an apartment or a individual house, there will be 5 or to 6 people going to live of different age, of different taste and liking, but from a common culture. Okay. Every client entertained by residential architecture has different tastes and needs, depending upon number of parameters. So to succeed as a residential architect, you must have the following traits: accepting, collaborating, and thinking outside the box to serve your client's need. Here I tried to tabulate different type of residential spaces. We have single story homes, multi-family homes, mansions, apartment buildings, or residential spaces which are converted from other type of buildings. And all these type of residential spaces are having 4 main spaces, or I can say 4 main elements, which are designed and attached in a specific manner. And these elements are: first, kitchen, family rooms, master bedroom, master bath, or different bedrooms. Kitchen is a place. Kitchen is a place where people love their cook there, and through the kitchen, people are attached to each other. So people love their kitchens a lot because through the spices stacked in somebody's kitchen, you can judge their culture or their background they belong to. So kitchen is a very important element of any family. Architect's job is to create a kitchen that clients love for all the right reasons. I'm saying all the right reasons, and that leads us to some specific questions need to be addressed. Like client को kitchen कहाँ चाहिए? Where a client need the kitchen, whether in the middle of the house, in the front, or in the back. As in Himachal, we need to place kitchen at the center, and it is the need of the climate here. Somebody needs to have our kitchen at the front, especially in a nuclear family where the female of the house need to have her eye all the time on the door. Okay. Second question is, what do client want in it? किस type का kitchen? What type of kitchen a particular client need? So how big will it have to be accommodated? Whether it should be at a center or somewhere else. This is an image of Didi contractor's house in which you can see that the kitchen has all the elements and principles of design. It has symmetry, it has balance, it has good room to light, etc. Second most important element is family room. See, these elements or spaces need to fit together beautifully. So depending on what client wants, needs and plan are for the kitchen is what we start with family rooms to the house. Means if a client wants the kitchen on the right side of the house, perhaps the family room is wanted to be placed on the opposite side or vice versa. If the kitchen is the centerpiece of the house, the architect needed to blend into the family room in a way that is unique and different. A typical square footage for a family room is generally 18 feet to 18 square feet or 18 feet to 20 square feet. What would be the size we would suggest you? As the floor plan begins to evolve and take shape, designers should see the importance of these four elements of design and how they not only fit together but begin to inform and color the peak. See, these are some images I took from Pinterest. You can see that if the kitchen has been placed on the left side, this is the living room on the other side, and how these two spaces are blend together. Third most important element is master bedroom or bedrooms. For residential design, it provides a wide opportunity of style, size, and texture with respect to the taste of the client. In this, we have a variety of choices to make such a size and style. Of course, but also window treatment, closet size, flooring, etc. are very important. You need to ask a client, do you want a walkout balcony or a parlor or sitting areas, built-in fixtures or flat walls, high arches or ceilings? Because people spend a lot time planning this room out of the both comfortable and personal. Let's discuss this plan. In here, we have a master bedroom, which is attached with a walk-in closet and a master bath. Here, you can see these two bedrooms and one master bedroom with a closet and a washroom without a balcony. So here, client balcony is not required by the client, right? But a neat, a beautiful closet is required. Next is master bath. The fourth and final major element of residential design is the bathroom. Like the relationship between the family room and kitchen, the choices we make with the master bedroom will affect your master bathroom also. The large sitting area or walk-in closet, for instance, as have seen you in the previous picture, the smaller master bathroom might have to be location of the master bathroom. Sometimes client need that in front, it should be in front of the suite or on the side or in the back of this room. Or sometimes client need a bathroom which is in the sharing with kids room also. So this is how this particular element varies. Here you can see the closets, washroom. This is the master bedroom, and the bathroom has been placed in the front. Okay. And from here, they have other bedrooms are having access. The client do not want to share one bathroom. Therefore, he placed two bathrooms adjacent so that each bedroom has its individual bathrooms. But the thing which you want to study through this lecture is considerations for residential spaces. What type of considerations you have to take while designing a building? So, first of all, we have to think about the aesthetic appeal. Aesthetic appeal is the way the home looks matters because it will be a place to live in. In the present day, we means humans spend around 80% of our time to the interiors. Okay? And this percentage will increase day by day. It should hold, therefore, it is important that our building should hold aesthetic appeal and value. The combined effects of a building's shape, size, texture, color, balance, unity, movement, emphasis, contrast, symmetry, proportions, space, alignment of a space, different patterns in flooring and wall and ceiling, decoration of all uh, plans like ground plane, vertical plane, roof plane, culture and context, as well as the beauty of the material, helps determine the beauty of a residential building projects. Next, you should think about is functionality, is the usefulness of the structure. People spend most of their time at home than outside. If the home we design is hard to navigate, then it is not a home that is having a conducive to living. And the most important thing is the client's need. Furthermore, the primary consideration you need to consider when designing a residential home is the client's need. Whether your client live an active lifestyle, is one of them physically challenged, you may have to adjust your design accordingly. Your client may be happier with the service if you consider what they want. Next, you need to respect the building codes. However, what's even more serious and crucial is if governments notice that you are not adhering to give the given building codes. And the last thing is safety. Remember to consider safety. You are building a home after all. The major question, how to conceptualize for a residential space. First of all, I want to tell you that the following points are not the part of your concept. The site conditions, site analysis, building typology, any requirement for the design brief given, and user characteristics. They are not concepts. They could not be the concept of your design. Concepts of your design may come from form and volume. And this form and volume of your design should be based on these things. Your concept should be based on the site analysis. Your concept should be based upon the building typology. But it could not be your concept starting off with a simple form and manipulating it based on relevant variables is one of the easiest way to develop a concept. It is usually done by manipulating the positive and negative spaces based on site study and spatial functions. The beauty of this form manipulation is best seen with massing studies. Second parameter is use and need for space. It is easier to visualize these spaces by mapping them out based on how these spaces will be used. As you can see in this picture, the lower portion of mezzanine floor has been used very interestingly. That helps to determine which spaces need to be in a close proximity to other. In this stage, nothing should be fixed, but feel free to play around with different iterations. See, when you start conceptualizing things, when you start making relations of one space to other space, nothing should be fixed. It should be flexible. So the space mapping can be influenced by other factors such as views, physical site, features, and public and private space. Next most important thing is circulation. The medium of transportation from one particular space to other particular space. So the spatial arrangement has an effect on the circulation and vice versa. Circulation is all about how the user will move around and interact with the space and with each other. It encompasses the access of the site, the building, as well as the horizontal and vertical routes for movement inside the building. When I want to discuss these two sketches of a particular house to you, this is the conceptualized sketch for this particular building. So you can, each and every element of this facade has been thinked before, right? With the material, with the physical elements, with the spatial elements, with the view, with the functionality and climate. It also has been think about the flow of energy. This concept itself shows that. So the puja room is directly having this morning sun. Similarly, in the double height areas, they are the morning sun is coming so that the level of energy has been increased. Next is physical feature of the site. So the existing feature of the site can become a setback or spatial plan. However, if you can make use of what already exists, it can bring better connectivity with the site. These physical features can include vegetation, water features, rocks, and other man-made features. The most important element of the design, even in this residential architecture, is light. The role of light in a space is more than just for visibility. Light, whether it is natural or artificial, can define a space, creating abstract boundaries, as you can see in both the pictures which are attached, by its relation with shadow, Based on the site analysis of sun path, shadow studied, and orientation, designers should establish light as a core design element. Natural lighting plays a key role in architecture as it brings forth and comfort and materiality to the of the space and with less energy consumption. However, careful planning is needed to counteract the heat gain. This is the picture of a house which is designed by Didi contractor in Dharamshala in Himachal. You can see the impact of physical parameters of the surrounding, the use of light in the interior through a simple window design. The placing of this window is beautiful. And from here, you can see the a laced fixed window, which is designed only to allow the light to enter into it, adjacent to the staircases. How beautiful is a simple access door could be. This door allows physical parameters, the surroundings, the landscape of the site to enter inside and a visual connectivity in indoors and outdoors. Concept may be vernacular. The term vernacular usually implies something old, but architects can develop concept based on the existing vernacular buildings in the area your site belongs to. So usually reflects in this style, vernacular elements are becoming typical in the modern architecture sense. After all, vernacular architecture promotes ecological solutions of design, which are the basis of sustainable architecture. So as I just said, that we have different planes in a space: horizontal plane, vertical plane, ground plane, and roof plane. And on this slide, you can see the impact of different roof plane on the concept. Here I have flat roof with a vernacular finishes. Here we have sloping roofs with modern material. Similar is the case, but the type of, this is the contemporary house, and this is a modern house with some abstract uh, roof system. So this cannot, the concept which I just said you, the amalgamation of physical parameters, physical surrounding. How beautifully is this roof merged with the surrounding areas? Yes. The symmetry. Look at the symmetry. Look at the play of light and shadow in the interior. Just a simple puncture. This puncture, how beautifully this puncture allows light inside. Didi contractor was special because she practices all principles and elements of design in her buildings. You can see the play of light, artificial light with natural light in the same building at different time. Here, this here you can see the interaction of different planes in a particular position of a house. You can see one screen of plane, then another screen of plane, and the third screen of plane in a series, and it creates an interesting view in a line. So the perfect symmetrical space is placed as a study area. Staircase with light well at one end. This particular light well is strong enough to lit this area and maintain the interest at the end of the journey. So the flight of the steps here is becoming interesting with a perfect symmetry. Look at the beautiful use of vernacular elements in this elevation. Repetition of one element, that is window, become interesting when it has a good scale of proportion. So while designing the interior, we have to be conscious enough to placing the windows at different spaces. The entrance completely merged. If you are thinking about a concept which is close to the nature, which is influenced with a by which is influenced with the biomimicry or um, with natural setting. So this is the best example. Another view of Didi uh, architect house. So how she merged with the building, with the surroundings. It is beautiful. You will get subtractive spaces, additive spaces in the same building, in the same form. So it is beautiful. This is a niche which is created to give access to two rooms from away. And this particular plane has been punctured to provide these two accesses. And the front wall has been created as a focal point. So when you are designing a residence, the interior spaces are equally important. See the interior arrangement of the windows with the adjacent spaces, with the light, which is natural and artificial. So each an element has been placed with the consciously by following all the principles and symmetry principles and elements of architectural design. The entrance, which is completely balanced. How the architect allows exterior to the interior spaces, it is amazing. So when you are designing an elevation of a particular residence, you should think of the surroundings, and we have to allow the out, outdoor to puncture our building and come to indoor spaces. It is a picture of a hall of Sambhavna Institute, which is designed by the contractor, the architect. See, this is a window. The above view shows the day time view through it, and the below it shows the evening time view when all the curtains are open. And you can feel the difference, the transformation of one space for a different purpose at a different point of time. So our buildings, your residence is actually transforming throughout the day. So that is the fourth dimension, the time. So the user is changing with the passage of time, and the building also behaves differently in a same day. So your concept should be with relation to that. This is all about my side. Now I am open for you for the questions. If you want to ask me to anything to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this insightful session. And now let's open the floor to questions from our audience. If you have any questions regarding to the topic covered in presentation or any related aspects of residential design, please feel free to type them in chat. We'll do our best to address as many questions as possible. And while we wait for the questions, I'd like to kick things off with a question of my own.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what source of inspiration do architects typically draw upon when they are conceptualizing their design?
Okay. Your voice is breaking. Can you please repeat it?
Just a second. Am I audible?
Yes.
Ma'am, the question is what is the main source of inspiration that leads us to the perfect concept for residential designs?
Okay. The first thing, you being an architect, we need to think about is the need of the client, is the belonging of the client. Okay. Is we have to understand the likes, dislikes, and the background of the client. Background of the client to know the needs, psychological needs, physical needs of a user, right? Because we are going to give a space, we are going to give a space. Uh, I'm really sorry. We are going to design a space for a person to live in. So the space is going to live. Okay, somebody is going to feel it. Somebody is going to develop feelings with it, right? So that is the most important thing. And we have to bring the nature to the residential architecture. Okay? So that we will be able to make it sustainable also, energy efficient also, and healthy. Why we need natural nature close to the residential building is health. In the present time, we are actually um, closing ourselves in the boxes. Why? For the sake of making it energy efficient, we are closing windows to make our building a hygiene, our interior hygienes. We are not allowing outside air to puncture our building, which is needed to dilute the indoor pollutions. In the recent one, according to a recent study, our indoors are 3 times more polluted than outdoors because of the closed environment. Okay, so we should not uh, promote this type of architecture.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question we have is how to stick to the concept till the end of process of design.
Uh, it is a rigorous exercise. You should not compromise with your concept because in the present time, everything can be built. So you have to work a lot with your concept. You have to get mature your thinking and imagination to develop your concept. But you should work with heart. Okay, with
Yes.
hand and heart. You have to develop more models. Don't go with the softwares. They are just a tool. They will not promote your imagination. Okay, your imagination will be possible when you start working with hand only.
Definitely. Ma'am, the next question is are there any particular principles or strategies that consistently lead us to the success while designing a residential project?
Resident. See, all architects has developed their some skills. The first thing in the present scenario, the first thing which is very important is resource efficient use of resources, right? So whether it is a space, whether it is a material, whether it is energy, we have to use it efficiently. Means we should not waste even a single inch of your site. ठीक है? तो जितना इंडोर इम्पोर्टेंट है उतना ही आउटडोर भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. ठीक. तो वी हैव टू डिजाइन मैक्रो एंड माइक्रो क्लाइमेट टुगेदर, राइट?
Yes, ma'am. And one last question is that what are some challenges that are regularly faced when it comes to residential design, and what is the best way to address them?
See, most of the time client is not able to imagine, not able to perceive your imaginations. Okay, what you are telling, what you are having in your mind, the client is not able to take it, because first of all, he is not a technical person, he is not an architect, neither a civil engineer, he is not even an artist, he is just a user to a particular space, but and with very less knowledge of number of things. Okay, that is the main challenge. Secondly, making a particular space barrier free, because I'm talking about the time, which is the fourth dimension. Nobody knows about the time, nobody knows about the physical challenges of the user, which may come with the passage of time. So, being an architect, we are going to design our spaces with future need also. But the client is not going to opt it, because sometimes they are costly. That is the main challenge.
Yes, ma'am. So, one of the audience has asked that they would like to know regarding the rules of colors in designing a building and how to choose the color of interior and exterior so that it doesn't feel off from the surrounding.
Color of the exterior. Okay. Now again, the function of your building and the age of the users going to living in a particular building, because kids room require different color scheme, they are energetic, so bright colors should be there. For middle-aged people, there should be warm color scheme. For elderly, there should be cool colors. And with the surrounding, it also depends upon the liking of the user and the architect. If it is a if you are a clay lover, you would like to merge your building with earthen pattern with the surroundings. Okay, so there is no thumb rule, but the color scheme of a study room should be different. The study of a living space should be different. Every color has its own purpose. Like in a restaurant, people should have bright color scheme, primary color schemes, so that because they increases the appetite. So for a businessman, it is good if the clients will consume more food. That is the reason why each cafes are having bright colors. Restaurants are having bright colors. But this is not suitable for your living family room in a residence, because people used to come after spending a rigorous day on their workplaces. So they need to relax. For relaxation, you need cool colors in your family. So selection of colors always depend upon the function of a particular space.
So one more question from the audience. How can we effectively balance aesthetics and functionality in residential designs?
How can? By practice. Make more sketches, spend more time on your design, and try to understand um, the purpose of each and every element.
So I think that's it for the session. So I would like to conclude today's session, and I want to express my deepest gratitude to each and everyone for for the participation and your presence. I'd like to extend a special thank to Ma'am, Dr. Venu Shree Ma'am, for sharing their invaluable expertise and answering the audience question. I also want to thank Dr. Naginder sir for his esteemed presence. And with that being said, I would like to conclude today's session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
You all can leave the session now. Thank you so much.